not paying $17 for it.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's 10%.
Well,
I mean,
I can't say that I wouldn't pay $17 for a beer.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely paid that, but...
Yeah. I've got like 4 of those in my garage.
Yeah, I know. You know that feeling of, I've never heard of this beer, never seen this beer.
Yeah, going in blind.
And it's $17 from a brewery I've never known.
A Bourbon County or Chata or something.
Something like, okay.
25, I'm all in.
Yeah. I know the brewery, and I know that brand.
Right, exactly.
I trust them.
Yes. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 99, your once weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. 99 episodes.
99!
I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Welcome to the show, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? Let me know over in chat. What beverages are you bringing along? We like to give some shout-outs here in the early goings of the show. If you've never seen the show before, this is our once weekly live show. We go over about 20 to 25 minutes of beer news at the beginning.
See you raised it to 25.
Well, I've got to account for the intro.
Okay.
So we've been landing right around that 25-minute mark. We'll jump into tech news. At 25 minutes, we jump into tech news. We talk tech for probably over an hour on average. Then the end of the show is games, entertainment, pop culture, things that are interesting to us, off the wall, and maybe a little Q&A time.
Yep.
So if you have questions, save them for the end. We usually try to allocate at least 10 or 15 minutes for Q&A at the end of every episode. So what are we drinking tonight?
Well, today we're going to be kind of going back to school.
Yeah.
Having some good old lunchbox. I found this beer actually at the Portland, Oregon Brew Festival, and they started canning it. So I thought, hey, let's try.
Bend, Oregon. I didn't realize it was a local brewer.
Local brewery called CapriSun, a strawberry milkshake Imperial IPA. Yeah. I love that the label even has a picture of the straw.
We got to show that. Yep.
Oh,
there.
there.
It's there. It's
okay.
there. Yeah. There Sorry, I messed my screens up before the show. So there we go.
Yeah. So we're gonna compare it to actual Kiwi strawberry CapriSun.
Yes. So I am looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
So
we even did an article a couple weeks back of like CapriSun having finding alcohol in the local grocery store, Iceland. It was Iceland. I think it was Iceland. Yeah.
Basically, some CapriSun began fermenting in the pouches and was registering a decent amount of alcohol, 2-3%, something like that.
So
we thought it was funny then to maybe do a CapriSun alcohol. Well, here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Then a brewer is like, heck, we already have a beer.
We've already got that. Already covered. Way ahead of you. So let's go ahead and crack those things open.
So let us know in the chat. We encourage all types of beverages, non-alcoholic, as you can see. Water, juice, coffee, cocktails, wine, whatever you like. Throw it up on chat.
Water, Gatorade, as I was drinking before the show.
Yeah.
And this is a family-friendly show as much as we can help it. There's pretty much no swearing on the show anymore. I think I've curbed my swearing like a sailor habit. And we try to keep the content as family-friendly as possible as well. So pretty much everyone of all ages is welcome.
Is welcome. If you need us to tell your kids to go to bed, we have done that before.
Yes, we have. All right, let's crack into this. Riverbend Brewing CapriSun Kiwi Strawberry. And it's a Milkshake IPA 8.6? 8.2.
So just hits that right above that Imperial. I had to grab that little last bit.
We were both so close.
Yeah, this is a little chunky.
Yeah.
And
it pours like pulpy orange juice.
Yeah, I just got this from the bottle shop today, too. So this is not poor storage on my part.
Yeah. Not this time, anyway.
No. Yeah, this kind of does look like my strawberry beer.
A little bit. Oh, yeah, there's tons of floaties in there.
Yeah.
There's seeds and pulp. Those are...
It's basically, it looks like
unfiltered. Those are strawberry seeds.
Yeah.
That's
well,
funny.
at least we know they used real strawberries.
That's right. All right, so what do we got going on in chat?
Someone's drinking a Pyramid Hef.
Water with a slice of lemon.
That's actually pretty good.
Mountain Dew. I do just a slice of lime with lemon, or slice of lime with water from time to time.
I prefer lime over lemon.
Or sparkling water.
Yeah.
I do that quite a bit. Let's see. Anyone have a quality cognac suggestion? I have a brandy suggestion if you wait probably about a half hour or so.
Oh, so that's what it is.
Yeah, by the way, there's fun drinks coming in this show.
Yes, there's another surprise drink for later on.
John has no idea.
No. Apparently there's...
Well, it looks like I'm buying a huge case of CapriSun tomorrow. Pyramid Hef, yeah. All right. Let's just get straight into some beer news because...
well, try the beer. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I should probably take a beer.
I will say, before you give your opinion...
No.
This tastes completely different than what Steve and I had at the Oregon Brew Festival.
Okay.
So it was very, very odd to me. It wasn't pulpy or anything like that at the Oregon Brew Festival.
Very juicy. Very, very juicy. I can definitely taste the strawberry. Not so much the kiwi. That's not really coming out to me. It tastes more like a strawberry ale than a milkshake IPA.
Yeah, that's what. Even the I had another one earlier, and it even kind of just tasted more strawberry, and then I got the milkshake, so it tastes more like strawberry and cream.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of the acid burn milkshake right on top, and it's very, very creamy.
It's very creamy.
Strawberries and cream.
Yeah, and that's my only I don't get kiwi. I really wish I did taste kiwi. Where the one at the
there's some kiwi on the nose. I can smell some kiwi.
Yeah. The one at the Brew Festival, I don't know if it was because it was a hot day and I was like, I need something good and different. If it just hit right, or they were pouring the cake for so long it got rid of all the pulp, Could
have been.
Don't know when this batch was poured from. So.
Yep. Double India IPA with strawberries, kiwis, milk, sugar, and vanilla. Yeah, there's that creaminess I can kind of interpret as some vanilla to it. Not really getting any straight vanilla flavor.
No.
It's good.
Yeah,
I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Insert straw elsewhere. That's great. All right, now let's get into some beer news.
So, if any of you are very common to this show, I like to bring Jeff interesting beers. Very interesting, and when I mean interesting, I usually mean bad. Because it's just hey, why not? This was stupid. I want to try this.
This is going to suck.
Yeah. And Jeff has that look on his face. Probably the most common ones I bring are...
By the way, I don't mind being a snob from time to time. Not all the time, but when John's on the show, it's John, come on. I'm better than that.
Are you?
I am.
Probably one of the most common ones I do bring, though, is a bunch of Budweiser series, not just regular Bud.
Yeah.
I usually bring specialty stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the most weirder ones that we talked about on the show before, we talked about news articles and we actually got to taste it, was Budweiser teamed up with Jim Beam.
Yep.
To do kind of a multi-red lager or something like that.
It was their Copper Reserve.
Copper Reserve. Wasn't that impressive.
No.
It just tasted a little sweeter than Budweiser. We didn't taste any oak or anything like that.
There was no bourbon. There was no oak. There was no vanilla. There was none of the flavors of Jim Beam present there. They just had their name on the label, and it was a slightly boozier version of Budweiser.
Yeah, I think it was 6%.
It was 6 instead of 4.5.
Yeah, something like that. Ooh. Yeah. Well, it looks like Jim Beam and Budweiser are at it again.
Yeah.
This one has a bit more interesting appeal to it.
I will say, if I see black lager on the menu, I'll try it.
Yeah. So, Budweiser and Jim Beam are creating a reserve black lager. There's actually some pretty interesting things coming out about this beer, and the number one thing is it's 7.1%.
Yeah.
So that's actually one of the highest Budweiser beers to come out commercially. It's going to be pretty interesting. So this will be a dark roasty lager. If you guys don't know what a dark lager is, usually they say it's going to have a little bit of molasses. They actually don't call it black. They call it more of an amber color. And another very interesting thing too is that it's going to be available in 22-ounce bottles.
Yeah. You get a full-on bomber with it.
You can get a full-on bomber with it.
Good old ye olde English pint.
Yes. So this is supposed to be kind of like their holiday ale to go with it. And they will also be re-releasing the original Copper Reserve that they did with it. So you can get both at the same time. Or if you were like me and saved an original, maybe we'll have an original on the show with the Black Lager so we can compare the two. Maybe I'll get a new one.
I hate you so
We'll
much.
have like an aged version. Maybe because oak, you know. You gotta age that stuff.
I hate
to
you
really
sometimes. I really do. I don't know why we're friends.
Because your palate's here, and when I come over, if I make you feel like your palate's up here.
Yeah. I will drink just about anything. I'm not a fan of lagers in general anyway. They're too hollow. And especially when you get into the domestics, your Bud Miller Coors.
Yeah. They are very hollow.
They taste very cheap. They taste very hollow. They taste very low effort.
Yes.
And that's I think my biggest problem with them is I enjoy bold flavors. And you don't even have to be a bold flavor. Just make it a good flavor.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do a lager, make it a good lager.
Make it a good lager. And
yeah.
I like some of the craft lagers that we've had before.
Yeah.
Even the what is that, 10-barrel pub beer.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's a really
great summer beer, 6.2% or something like that.
It's like 5.5. It's a little like a 0.5% above Budweiser, but it's also like 40 cents cheaper than Budweiser.
Right.
So, and they're owned by Budweiser.
Yeah.
Why not? Hey, let's...
Right. And I think we said, if Budweiser tastes like this, I would drink Budweiser.
Yeah.
I totally would. I don't understand it.
Oh, that's probably why Budweiser's buying stuff up.
Yeah.
But, yeah. We talked about buying beers, and we always buy beers. But last night, I think the last time I was on, or 2 weeks ago, we talked about the how much you'd pay for a pint of beer.
Right.
You know, the most expensive, and some guy in Australia?
Yes.
Or New Zealand?
It was
New Zealand?
It was either Australia or New Zealand. He was a beer reviewer. He was a columnist.
Yeah.
And someone overcharged his card. What was it, $680 or something like that?
Oh, it was like it was 69,000. It was 69,000.
Oh, that's yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they moved the decimal over like a couple points.
Yeah.
So, and we never heard anything back about that. Still haven't, unfortunately. But we talked, how much would you pay for a pint of beer? Well, how much would you pay for a can of beer?
For a can of beer, for a 12.
For a 12-ounce can of beer.
Like my high dollar?
Sure.
Boy.
What would be the most? You saw a 12-ounce can of beer, we're like, I have to have that.
You know, I've done a 6-pack before. So I'm gonna budget it based on 6-pack.
Okay.
I've done $23 or $24 for a 6-pack before, so upwards of $4 or $5 for a 12-ounce can.
Yeah, that's pretty expensive. Would you spend $2,850 for a can?
Ooh, boy. If it was canned by Queen Elizabeth in her wild years, then quite possibly.
Well, this is actually a beer that it's roughly around that time.
I'm hoping someone got the Futurama reference.
Gosh. That's stupid. I just now got it.
I'll just take this $10,000 burglar's kit then.
But the world's most expensive can of beer was sold recently, September 20th.
Sorry,
actually.
$300 burglar's kit. Continue. It was a $10,000 cigar. You Grand cigar.
The
Le Grand cigar.
Le Grand cigar.
Okay. Moving on.
It was God, thanks a lot, man.
Sorry to get you off track.
Anyway, there was an auction over in England for some beer cans, and these two beer cans that were from the 1930s, so 1936, from a brewery called Venfield Voyle is actually how you're supposed to pronounce it, if I remember. Some people call it the, what was it? Yeah, Vellenvoyle pronounced, but some people call it the Feeling Foul. But so there was actually a perfectly preserved one, and then one that has a slight leak in it. Apparently the dogs want to be
someone's home.
Yeah. So, but it ended up being the brewery themselves went and picked it up because the brewery is still alive and still kicking, and they're actually known for Double Dragon, not the video game.
Yeah.
So, but
the beer.
The beer, yeah, it's a Double Dragon Ale, which is actually, I think, in the 1970s pronounced the greatest beer in England or Ireland, wherever they're from. So, but yeah, they ended up paying roughly about $1,400 a can, $14.25, and this was reported as the world's most expensive can of beer. Or actually, they never even said can; they actually said beer
in general.
Because they reference the pint of beer, and they said that doesn't count because that was a mischarge.
Right.
That actually got me thinking because I remember Brewdogs used to have a TV show.
Yeah.
And their second season, they have
a whole network now.
They have a whole network now.
Yeah.
But their second season, one of the episodes they devoted into basically breaking the world's most expensive beer.
Yeah.
How to sell it. And they sold theirs for $3,500.
Yeah.
And it's well documented.
And it was retail.
Yeah.
That's what they sold it for.
Yeah. So I actually, what's funny, I sent a message to the publisher of that article.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if he says anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, just let you know. Because in his article, he said he did a lot of research, and from his research, that's the only most expensive can of beer that he could find.
Yeah,
or beer that he could find. And I even went through the article. It never states can of beer. It just says beer.
Right.
So this outdoes it by quite a bit.
Yep.
Do you want to do that one, or do we got time? What are we on time?
Yeah, we got time.
Oh, we got time.
We got a couple minutes. Yeah, we breezed through those pretty quick. Okay. I liked this story anyway. There was a story circulating earlier this week that a brewery, where were they looking? I'm trying to open the link right. Dang it. Go.
I believe they're
Armistice Brewing.
Yeah.
Basically, they wanted to create a beer inspired by famous British pastry chef Mary Berry.
Yeah.
She's a very sweet woman. She's on a whole bunch of like in the U.S. we have on Food Network we have like Cupcake Wars and things like that. She's the British version of that.
Yeah.
She's pretty big name when it comes to pastries and she's been on TV. She's been she's a very recognizable image in the pastry industry. Armistice Brewing wanted to create a beer that was paying homage to her, paying homage to Mary Berry.
They is a pastry stout and everything like that.
Right.
So they were like pastries and her.
So anyway, Armistice Brewing is down in Richmond, California, and they decided to basically make a beer inspired by her, and so it was the Mary Berry Pastry Stout.
Yeah.
And
they blasted it all over social media.
All over social media. It was all over Twitter. It was all over Instagram.
Yeah.
They were promoting the page and whatnot. Within hours of that going live, Armistice Brewing received a cease and desist letter from Mary Berry's attorneys saying you're using her likeness without due process.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. The label did technically have a cartoon image of
Had
her.
a caricature of her face.
Caricature of her face coming out of like pancakes or something like that.
Yeah. But what do you do when you're a brewer and you've already brewed this beer and you have your inspiration for the beer and you have a name in mind and everything else and you got a vat ready to bottle, you've got your labels all designed.
Yeah. And that's money right there too.
It's money because they have to be FDA certified.
Yep.
They've got to be
the name's got to be registered.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a process, and so the release of a beer is actually a bigger deal for a brewer than a lot of people make of it because there's a certification process that has to go through. Are you advertising it properly?
Yeah.
Are you misrepresenting anything? What is the ABV that's actually going to be going in there?
Yeah.
And you can only be off by 0.05% or something like that.
It's not a lot. Yeah, most people have to send it in to get it regularly
to get it certified.
That
it's a certain ABV because your ABV goes on the label, and if you're off, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into beer labeling, and once you've made it through the certification process, and then you get a C&D from Mary Berry's attorneys, you've already got your label certified. What do you do now?
Well,
as it turns out, they have a pretty tongue-in-cheek way of dealing with it, and they ended up rebranding the same beer, call it the Cease and Desist Berry. Cease and Distillery.
Distillery.
Cease and Distillery Pastry Stout.
No, it's Cease and Desberry.
Or Disberry.
Yeah.
Okay. Desist Berry.
Yeah,
Cease and Desist Berry. I read it as distillery earlier, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. There's no bourbon in there.
Yeah.
Okay. The Cease and Desist Berry Stout. Pastry Stout.
Yes. And so what they did for the label was basically they just kind of put some sticky notes over it and an upside down smiley face over the face.
I love the smiley face sticker.
Oh, it's so fantastic.
Welcome to Walmart.
So these will be going out, I believe, next week.
Yeah, basically they had a release date in mind, and they already had the labels printed, they already had the bottles approved, and it was, hey, you can't sell this, and they said, well, put stickers over her face. Now it's not. Yeah. Now it's okay.
Now it's okay. See you guys later. Bye. Fine. Trying to do something nice for an homage to the lady.
And as the article points out, the article points this out as being a Streisand effect. I disagree with that terminology, because the Streisand effect is drawing attention to something that negatively influences Streisand. In this, it was an homage to the person. Yeah. It wasn't an image that I'm embarrassed by that. The Beyonce pose. Search Beyonce on Google Images.
What's the Super Bowl pose?
Yeah, you'll get the Super Bowl pose. Yeah. And so that's the Streisand effect. Is Beyonce saying, I want that deleted from the internet, and the internet making that the #1 search result. Yeah. So this isn't the Streisand effect. I disagree with that terminology. But as the article points out, this is kind of a win-win. The brewery got their name out there. They got a beer more recognition than it normally would have. Mary Berry gets more recognition than she would have, even if the beer had been released. And her lawyers got a little something for sending a C&D.
Yeah.
So, overall, not a bad situation.
I just noticed, looking at your beer, look at the the separation.
Oh, God, yeah. Whoa!
Right? I mean...
Dude.
that's a finger.
Yeah.
That's a good finger size.
That's the pulp in the bottom of my glass.
And it's still going
down. Wow. Someone asked earlier, is pulp in a beer a bad thing? They're new to beer. Sediment and floaties and additives are actually not a bad thing.
They're not necessarily a bad thing. You can have
whole chunks of strawberry, maybe.
Oh, shut up about this. I had a strawberry seed I just picked out.
Answer the question.
Anyways, no, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Is it very desirable looking? Mm-hmm. No, it's not very desirable looking. Does it take away from the flavor if you have too much in it and your original, design of the beer is just an IPA? Wow. Then yeah, it will take away from it.
Yeah.
But like a good Hefeweizen, you want that to be yeasty. Yeah. You want a good German beer to be yeasty.
Yeah.
Even certain sour beers, you want to kind of almost mix that culture up. Mm-hmm. Bourbon, you get sediment sometimes at the bottom where the chocolate settles or some of the chalkiness of the barrel settles. Mm-hmm. You want to kind of almost stir that up. This with fruit nowadays is becoming a pretty modern, pretty new thing.
Yes.
Of adding active fruit.
Fruited beer.
Yeah. So it's like this. It's not a very attractive looking thing.
And I think that's the biggest thing is when I was first starting to get into craft beer and I would pour a beer and I didn't read the side that it contains active yeast or still contains active cultures or whatever, and I poured the beer and what the hell is wrong with my beer? Because, let's be honest, that is not a good look. That is not the look of a beer that an average person walking into a bar would want to drink. Now, is the taste affected? Actually, this is quite a delicious beer. I'm really enjoying this one. Now, a lot of this could be they added straight milk, and so this could be a little bit of lactose in there. This I know I saw strawberry seeds in there.
Yeah, I even pulled the strawberry.
The bottom quarter inch of my glass is nothing but strawberry seeds.
Yeah, I pulled a strawberry. It was just sitting on my glass. I was like, I'll pull that out.
So as a seasoned beer drinker who is not bothered by this at all, it's quite delicious.
Yeah.
As a new person going, CapriSun, that sounds like a lot of fun. And you pour your beer and you go, boy, did this go bad? I'm not going to drink that.
No.
And so
There's even certain beers that actually leave like almost a jam residue. There's these new gozes that are coming out that are fruited gozes, and they're called like jammy gozes, and they literally come out thick and they taste wonderful, but they'll coat the glass with a sugar ring. And they leave the seeds in there. I mean, heck, we live in an age where they put glitter in beer, so yeah.
Yes, we do.
Floaties are fine.
Yes, we do.
Now, if it smells funky and floaties, but just read the label, read the description. Get me. So there have been a number of times after Talking Heads, we may have stayed here a bit, chatted a bit, and then had to walk home. Woke up the next morning.
The liquor cabinet's right there.
Yeah, hey, let's read this article. Let's go through the comments.
While we're chatting. How'd the video do?
Yeah, And then you wake up the next day and you're like, oh.
It's Thursday at 6 a.m.
Yeah, why did it?
I've got a 7:30 meeting.
Yeah, I know. The server's down. Oh, crap.
That happened once at 1 a.m. after Talking Heads. That was fun.
And then you get a call from your boss. Well, I don't care if you're hungover. You should have been here. You need to be here. Well, actually, a German court today, or no, it's 2 days ago. 2 days ago, ruled that hangovers are actually an illness, and so you could take sick leave.
I have an excuse.
So, actually, it's kind of interesting. A product in Germany said that they were going for a patent stating that their product could cure a hangover. And that's where this argument came into be, that it cures a hangover.
Right. Well, what's the definition of cure? There has to be an ailment or an illness.
Yes. And so what ended up being that out of their own argument, as they got what they wanted tossed out because, nope, you're wrong.
Yeah.
But because of that, the judge then ruled that a hangover is classified as an ailment. Or an illness. Sorry, I said ailment. An illness. So, if you're...
Technically is an ailment, too.
It's just a temporary illness. What I love, too, is that this happened in, like, the middle of Oktoberfest. And so everyone at Oktoberfest was like, yes, drink more! You don't have to go to work! So, if your boss ever sits there and says, what's wrong with you? And you're hungover, just say you're sick.
I'm sick.
I'm sick. And you could be telling the truth.
I have the 6-hour flu.
And the only cure is Taco Bell and some more beer.
Oh, God, no Taco Bell.
Or greasy food.
Greasy food, yes. I'll get to a spot where I crave, like, truck stop food. Like...
Taco Bell's at a truck stop.
Yeah, that's true. But no, like...
There's like the hot dogs and the burgers.
The hot dogs, like the 7-Eleven spicy dogs.
Oh, yeah. Those are good,
and we get the barbecue chicken on a stick.
Oh, yeah. The skewered,
the skewered barbecue chicken and
that's been rotating on the wheel from the morning.
The pizza pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get to a point, like, after a hangover where it's like, I want that.
Yeah, I'm either like a pizza or a Taco Bell type of
Pizza definitely.
Yeah.
No Taco Bell.
Yeah. I do top ramen a lot, actually.
I could do top ramen. I could see that. But no Taco Bell after a hangover. Or during a... Oh, God.
Oh, that's the best.
Gut bomb.
No, that's I always have to eat something that's like, okay, if I'm going to eat this, and for some reason it has to come back up, I need it to taste good.
And Taco Bell's your answer?
Hey, I don't mind certain Taco... Like, I'm not going to go for the big...
Oh, I eat Taco Bell once a month, or once a week, but...
Who is drinking that?
That's Becky. Becky Poo.
Okay, Becky.
Is drinking another Natty Light.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yep. Natty Light Seltzer. Aloha, beaches. Yep.
Yeah. So, well, that's it for the beer news.
That is. I was hoping you'd be further along because I kind of wanted to do the...
Well, I did a lot more talking.
You did? Okay, we can do a couple tech, or maybe one or two.
You want to do... this one, you're going to know more than I will.
Okay. This one's a little bit interesting because... tech news starts at 30 minutes even. Someone write it down in the comments. So, we got some leaks today. Today? Yes, today. Tom's Hardware and Anantech, I believe, both posted articles about some leaked information about upcoming AMD B550 chipsets. Now, we know AMD is probably going to be making a more mainstream chipset. The X570 is the extreme chipset. It's the high-end desktop. It has all of the features and whatnot of the Ryzen 3000 series platform. But what do you get for the affordable people? What are we going to get for the
consumer
$60 to $120 to $130 range? Because that is a completely different range of motherboard. The cheapest X570 right now is the ASRock Phantom Gaming 4, and I think it's $155, which is not really a range that most people want to be buying motherboards in.
Under 3 digits is usually where people want to be at.
Yeah, that really is the sweet spot when you're building like a $1,000 gaming rig. You don't have $200 to be dropping on.
Yeah, most of your money goes CPU and graphics.
Right.
And then RAM is probably third.
Right.
CPU, then graphics, RAM, hard drive.
Right.
And then motherboard.
Right. Exactly. So we knew they were coming out with this, but what are you going to get for your money? And that's the real interesting thing here. So the X570 kind of made news because it's the first platform with PCI Express 4.0 baked into the board. Technically, AMD EPIC kind of beat it to the punch, but it didn't really release it retail then. So X570, first PCIe 4 board. I'm just going to say it. What that was essentially 16 lanes of PCIe Express 4.0. RAID supported natively on the chipset, RAID 0, 1, and 10. Supports dual GPUs, supports overclocking, has 8 USB 3.2 Gen 2 10 gigabit USB connections, and 4 USB 2.0 ports. And then it can also support up to 12 SATA drives. So pretty decent specs.
Yeah. There's nothing to mock about there.
Right. The big question has been, is B550 going to support PCI Express 4.0? The answer is no. The answer is they are going to remain at PCIe 3.0, which I'm sure is going to disappoint people on paper who simply read the specs and go, well, 4 is higher than 3. Why didn't they include 4?
I mean, yeah, I do that.
The reason X570 boards are so expensive is because of the electrical data integrity or the signal integrity of PCI Express 4.0. It is difficult to,
I kind of want to if it's got the last part of it, should have the most theoretical flavor, right?
A lot more burn in that one.
Yeah.
Whew. A lot more burn in that one. I should have taken a picture. That turned white. Anyway, so the majority of the cost in X570 boards went to the manufacturer PCIe 4.0 is because the data lines had to be that much thicker, it's that much more copper, it's that much more engineering that has to go into it to make sure your signals are actually reaching the points that they need to reach and still achieving the data speeds that they need to reach. So for B550, you're not going to get PCIe 4.0. You're going to get PCIe 4.0, or 3.0, excuse me. You're only going to get... where was the interconnect lanes? Now I'm losing it. Shoot. I had it highlighted earlier. Basically, X570 had 8 PCIe lanes plus 16 lanes plus 4 that went to the chipset. So you got about 20 lanes that was usable by the motherboard. 4 of them went to the chipset, and then the chipset could divvy off those to other components and kind of share the bandwidth among those components. With B550, you're actually going to get 8 Gen 2 lanes and 4 PCI Express Gen 3 lanes to go to the chipset. And so you're still going to be running at PCIe 2.0 speeds. And I know that shocks a lot of people. It's actually the way more inexpensive motherboards work. And you can see X470 and X370 had 8 Gen 2 lanes. That was the bulk of the motherboard interface, regardless of it being PCIe Express 3.0 directly attached to the CPU. The chipset itself ran on Gen 2. So they are upgrading you to Gen 3, which is a nice little
plus.
A nice little bonus. You get 8 going Gen 2 and 4 going Gen 3. You still get RAID support, 0, 1, and 10. I would like to see RAIDs 5 and 6 start to be a little more prevalent, but as software RAID is kind of still the thing to go with, I could take it or leave it.
Well, what's a lower motherboard doing with that stuff anyway?
Right. The really nice thing is you can support up to 8 SATA drives on the B550 board, which is actually a pretty decent number of drives.
That's a lot, actually.
Right. I mean, as you can see, the X570 only supports 12. X470 only supported 6.
So you're up on that.
So, decent amount of drives that are natively supported at line rate. Unfortunately, that's pretty much all the information we have. Oh, and only 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2. God dang it, I hate USB naming schemes. So only 2 10 gig USB ports. We don't know about Type-C or any 3.1 ports. That wasn't included in the leak. So I'm sure news on that will be coming pretty soon. Yeah, we're hoping to see this maybe November-ish, I would say.
Yeah, well, so that'll be right in that shopping spree for the lower end people. People want to buy a little bit new motherboards.
I can't imagine these aren't out before the holidays. I can't imagine. So for Xmas, I'm going to SLI it with a second 2070 Super. Don't SLI. It sounds cool. You're going to waste $500. You're going to get returns on like 4 games if you're really, really lucky. You're going to RTX the hell out of Control. But that's about it. And it's $500 worth 60% gain in 4 games, 20% gain in 40% of your games, and then worse performance in the rest? No. Save your money. Invest it somewhere else. Yep. Thoughts on Vegas 56 Crossfire? Crossfire, you get a little bit better scaling in general. I'd say probably 30 to 40% of your games get a decent bump, maybe 20, 30, 40%, but it's still not nearly the return that you would expect it to be. Jay said it, Linus has said it, Paula said it, Kyle said it, I've said it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and Jeff said it.
I've said it. Multi-GPU rigs, it's money wasted. It's really, really cool. And
it's one of those things to puff your chest about.
Right.
But
exactly. But the return just isn't there. And it actually causes more problems anymore than it's actually worth having. So even if those 4 games are amazing, the 7 games that you can no longer play because you have to disable SLI and then reboot your system in between, that's such a pain in the ass. So, yeah, just don't. Just don't.
Jeff, but it only takes 5 seconds now for my PC to reboot.
Right. Right, because I've got that PCIe 4.0 storage.
Yeah.
5 gigs per second, bro. Yeah, just don't. All right, moving on to our second drink here.
So
I'm going to let John kind of explain the origins of this.
Okay. So the reason...
By the way, subscribe to Hops and Brews.
Yeah, do that. That's fun. More content coming weekly. The reason we are doing this particular beverage is I released a video earlier this week, kind of trying to, duplicate that. Ever since we had that article, and then this beer came out, I was intrigued of, could I make this CapriSun that this beer is based off of taste like, the beer? So my video, I go and take the ingredients. They have the vanilla. I found the exact hops that they used. And I use an infuser. And then I get a recarbonator. And I recarbonate it. And I try to basically make a virgin version of this beer. Now, I released that.
In the center, all self-important all
That's
of a sudden.
right. Well, I needed to take up most of the screen.
That's right.
Did your dog leave?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I released that, and then Jeff came back to me and said, "Hey, I think I've been inspired to make a cocktail."
I bet I could outdo you.
Exactly.
I bet I could do you one more. So let's get rid of the glassware for now.
So if you want to see my video after this, you can go check out my link. I'm sure it's in the description below. Oh. Wait, what?
We each get a different one.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what's coming up. Oh, I see some champagne.
Little champagne.
Champagne. Okay.
All right. Someone asked me for a cognac or a brandy recommendation. Corbel. Actually, a pretty decent one. They've also got a Corbel 7, which is a 7-year age for like $17. I think this one was $13.
Ooh,
solid.
Cognac for $13.
Solid.
Solid. Nice.
Really solid. Which you're going to experience. Or actually, no, you're getting this one.
I'm getting this one.
You're getting a gin drink.
A mule?
Yes.
Aha! At least I got that right. Well, I figured.
Right.
Copper straw.
So basically what I'm going to make is, John tried to make a virgin version of this beer. I want to do kind of the spiritual next step of that, which is what would an alcoholic version of the CapriSun Kiwi Strawberry taste like. But a little bit more than that, just I want to use this as a base ingredient. So this will be probably the most prevalent ingredient in the drink.
Okay.
I'm not trying to replicate the flavors. I'm trying to accentuate what's there.
Have you tried this?
I have not.
Even better.
So we're both going in blind.
Oh, that's how. See, I think that's what I bring to Jeff.
Right.
I think I've brought that to you. It's really sweet.
All right. It is really sweet. That's perfect because I'm actually planning on using this as a simple syrup replacement.
Okay.
So I have no simple syrup on my table here. What we're going to start with, we'll start with your mule. So I got to get you a little bit of ice.
Excited.
I'm excited too. I hope this works.
So if anyone's on their second drink, let us know in the chat. So what's going on?
All right. So we're going to start with some ice in there. We're going to, not going to shake with that, but I am going to toss you a little lime wedge in
So
here.
we got lime. So we got ice, lime.
Just a little eighth of a wedge of lime there. There we go. You can have that. And you can get a little garnish with you too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
In case I want a little more.
Fancy. It's a good lime. All right. We're going to do 2 ounces of the CapriSun.
This is so stupid.
This is so stupid.
Hey, at least it pours good, though.
It does. I was actually really impressed with that. That's a solid pour spout.
Yeah.
We're going to do 2 ounces of gin.
Oh, good. So someone's drinking a Two Brothers Brewing Adam Smasher Oaked Marzen. So that's interesting.
solid.
So that got a nice woody characteristic. The nice Marzen should have nice malt. So that's malt and wood. I'd be curious to try that. I love
I'm going to toss in a couple strawberries
Right.
for good measure there. We're just going to give that a shake.
Break those strawberries up.
There we go.
Someone says their money is on that this is going to taste horrible.
You know, I'm actually cautiously optimistic about this.
I could see an aromatic gin going pretty good with this.
Right. And this is a very aromatic gin.
And it looks nice.
It's a very pleasant looking drink. Little pink to it
A
there.
little pink to it from the strawberries, the lime, the copper straw.
And then we've got a Reed's extra ginger ale.
Or ginger beer.
Or ginger beer, excuse me. There we go. And let me give that a little switch there. There we go. It looks impressive.
No, it
looks very impressive.
You want to get the camera.
Yeah, go for it. So this is John's beer. Or John's
cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lime. Very nice looking. It does look a little yellow on camera, but it actually is more pink.
Right.
So.
All right.
I will wait for your next drink.
Yep. So
Rinse it out.
there's a towel on the floor next to you. Can you hand me that? On your other side. Since I just spilled all over my leg. Sorry, trying to be a bartender on camera is difficult, we'll say. There we go. All right.
And that's Jeff's drink.
Yeah. That's what I'm having. Suck it, John. All right. So mine is a little bit more involved, and I'm actually not even sure of the ratios I'm going to go with yet. But to stay true to what John is drinking, I'm going to do the same 2 ounces of the CapriSun.
Okay.
I am making what's called a bowler. It's similar to a Bellini in that it uses champagne as a main ingredient. And we'll be adding that. So very similar to John's drink, I'm going to build this in the shaker. I'm going to shake it all up. And then we're going to add champagne on top of it to make it a little bubbly.
So instead of ginger beer.
Right. I'm going to add 1 ounce of my brandy. There we go. I'm going to add...
Someone's saying to change the camera because it's the wrong angle.
Sorry. There we go. You made me change it the first time.
Well, you just forgot to.
I'm going to do 1 ounce of white wine. In this case, I'm actually doing a Chardonnay.
Oh, I thought that looked like a Moscato.
No.
It's like, that's going to be really sweet if that was a Moscato.
No.
So
Well, it's a Chardonnay. It's going to be sweet anyway.
it's sweet. Well, Moscato's even sweeter.
Right.
But yeah.
So, yeah, we're not exactly going light here for the sweetness. And then
Yours is going to be a bit boozy.
It is a bit boozy. Yeah. To make it a little less boozy, we're just going to toss in some strawberries here.
How is that less boozy? Oh, I'll add another ingredient.
Right.
And then my third ingredient, more booze.
More champagne. There we go.
Really break that strawberry up.
Yeah. There we go. And this one I want a really fine strain. I don't want much of that strawberry pulp in here. So.
Oh, that looks even pinker than mine.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to. It had more strawberry, and it's got Chardonnay in it too. Plus, I've got the brandy in there to give it that.
Oh yeah, the
nice dark brown.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
There we go.
No, that looks nice.
Down there. Set that down there. And then I'm going to top with a little Brut champagne.
No cork, just a twist top.
Yeah, but it's not breaking the foil. There it goes.
Yeah.
Ah.
Just enough for some bubbly.
Yeah.
That.
And there we be. So, on a scale based on what you managed to do with your hop infuser, how do these look?
Oh, well, I will say, because mine.
By the way, I've never made either of these drinks before.
Yes.
I mean, I'm no stranger to a mule, but
it's a bit different. You're not using hops. But yeah, no, I would say
that
like
is quite attractive.
That one looks very good. Maybe even garnish it with a strawberry.
There we go.
It looked yeah, something like that. But yeah, cheers.
There we go. Well, I was showing the camera.
Oh,
too.
fine. Yeah. See, this camera's got a little bit contrast issues.
All right, so let's go for it.
That's right.
It's actually pretty solid.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I taste a lot of champagne. I definitely have the little oakiness from the wine poking through. I'm digging for Kiwi.
See, this actually tastes like more of a pretty much a gin and CapriSun cocktail.
Really?
Yeah, you get the CapriSun like right up front and the sweetness, and then the gin kind of comes back like the end of the middle and the back end.
It smells like pepper.
Yeah.
Like it smells like black pepper.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a interesting mix of champagne and wine and
yeah,
strawberries and I don't get Kiwi. I don't even get the brandy.
No, I don't. The brandy's gone.
Yeah, the brandy really is gone.
This is a little Chardonnay, a little champagne, a lot of strawberry.
A lot of strawberry.
Very, very good.
I get a tingle on the tongue at the back end. I don't know if that's the kiwi or strawberry or possibly champagne. Or it could just be the leftover lime that's, No,
I did a pretty good wash on that tin. So I don't think there's any lime.
No, because I drank it.
Oh, right.
Because I drank it first.
But, no. I'm solidly impressed with myself.
I think this would be... I'm going to add the extra lime.
Yeah.
I like extra lime in my mules. And I think strawberry and lime was a pretty good... But yeah, no kiwi.
Yeah, no kiwi.
Even... Well, hang on. You know what?
Yeah, let me crack this one open too.
See, this actually has kind of a vanilla flavor. And I can see why then they added vanilla to this.
Right. And I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to perfectly recreate what's inside of here.
Yeah. Now, there's no vanilla in it, but...
My hope with the with this one was the Chardonnay would bring out a little bit of oak, and you'd kind of get some vanilla off of that. I gotta say, for a drink that has 2 ounces of CapriSun in it, that is mighty drinkable.
Yeah, no, very easily drinkable. I would say probably between the two, I think this is truer to the homage of the CapriSun. This tastes just like a really good strawberry cocktail.
Yeah.
Like a fancy girly drink.
Yeah, there's the Bellini, there's the Caribbean Bellini, there's a whole bunch of different variations of that drink. No, this is...
Yeah, but I think you have, 3 different alcoholic beverages in that, where this only has one. And I think that's where it really...
Right, totally.
But enjoyable. I like it.
Way better than what you did.
Shut up. And for those of you who don't know, go check out my video.
Yeah, go check out his video. His video's hilarious.
It's funny, yeah.
It's absolutely hilarious.
It's meant to be.
Yeah. We're getting...
I was going to check computing. Yeah.
I was going to make this in a mule cup itself, but I wanted it to show on camera well. So decided the mason jar was the more appropriate way to go.
That's fine.
I gave you the copper straw. So,
yeah.
There we go. Yeah. No. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, very nice. I like it.
All right. Moving right along. It is some more tech news.
Intel.
Oh, yes. Sorry. I rearranged them on yours to go in a better order. So let me get there. We got a first leaked benchmark of Intel 10 nanometer CPUs. It's Ice Lake, and it's only mobile, and it's 15 watts.
Yeah. It's a tiny little thing.
Yeah. So, and they didn't even run, like, Firestrike. They ran Skydiver, which is... I challenge you to get less than 6,000 on, like, any piece of hardware made in the last 8 years. I challenge you. Like, I think a GT 1030 scores something in the 9,000 range on it. It's insane. Anyway, so this benchmark did show up. Probably the more interesting bit of news is this is on a Surface Pro 7, which has not been announced. That's the hardware that was leaked with this. But on Skydiver 1.0 scored a 69-63 combined, a 65-65 in graphics, and a 95-94 in combined, physics. Excuse me. In the physics score, so for the CPU. I'm not sure how well that compares. So you don't have this on yours, but I'm going to go over to my results. I'm going to see if I have done Skydiver. I did Skydiver on my 12-core X5690. There we go. And an i7-930. That's probably the more
comparable,
relevant. So an i7-930.
Let's look at your numbers.
Right. What are the numbers from the... What's the physics number?
Oh, the 9594.
Okay, actually, you score quite favorably.
Yeah.
Because my i7-930 scored a 6589 in physics for a CPU score. So Intel's 15-watt part is actually beating out an i7-930 at stock clocks.
Yeah.
Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. So now, obviously, I creamed this in a previous
graphics,
score.
Yeah.
I do have a Xeon score here, but that's a 12-core. Yeah, 18,191. But no, honestly, it's clocking probably roughly with right around an X50 690.
Yeah, a little behind X50.
10,189. So all the X58 fans out there. This new 15-watt Intel chip is actually looking pretty favorable as far as performance goes, at least in Skydiver, which is actually a higher number than I would have placed it at. I thought it would have been like low i3 kind of generation. So 4 cores, 8 threads, running at 1.5 gigahertz. Not too shabby at all. In fact, we can go back over to yours. The reported stock clock is 1500 megahertz. The maximum turbo it reached was 1497. So obviously, probably a little bit of thermal throttling going on, but it's a Surface, so you knew that. 10 nanometer manufacturing process, 15 watt TDP in total, and compared that to my X50 690, which drew 130 watts TDP. And reached a max turbo clock of 3.475. So, yeah, not
looking too bad.
Not too bad. As far as a mobile chip reaching
semi-gaming
130 watt desktop levels from 10 years ago, or actually no, 8 years ago. Excuse me.
Well, the thing is, like you said, it's going to be on the Surface Pro, and it's not really going to be meant for gaming. A little bit of graphics, and probably some really high-end mobile gaming.
Troika, what was your laptop physics score? Because that's what we're looking at. Is that the 2583? Eric Del Toro, $5 donation. Challenge accepted. My laptop scores a 2583 in Skydiver 1.0. Oh, he included a link. Look at that. The physics score on that was a 4729, and that was with a Core i5 3320. So actually doubled up the score of the, well, it's a 4-core, 4-thread. So, yeah, not too shabby. Actually,
35 watt.
I'm forgetting, is the i5 3320 a true quad core? i5 3320M, Ivy Bridge quad core, Arc 2-core 4-thread. Okay.
So no.
You doubled up that one. What's the wattage? Yeah, the i5 is a 2-core 4-thread.
35
watt. Okay. Oh, so you're more efficient. 15 watts versus 35 watts, but you basically just doubled up the score. Yeah. Not quite as impressive as of a result as I was hoping for, actually. So, yeah, interesting results. I'm still impressed with this.
It's like I say, back to my chick drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's
all drink trick drinks. I freaking love daiquiris. Are you kidding me?
There we go. Daiquiris are fine. Not really. I'm not a big daiquiri. I'm not a big daiquiri. I'm not a big what's the lime one? The Mexican one.
Mexican lime one.
Margarita.
Oh, margarita. Yeah.
I'm not a big margarita.
But I don't like tequila.
Yeah. Well,
but mint juleps. Oh God, love them.
Really? I'm not a big fan of that either. The problem is, I always find people put too much mint or not enough mint. Mint is a very fine balance.
It is
in a beverage.
I will say that it is a fine balance.
Actually, what I like is a pineapple mojito.
I actually make a mean pineapple mojito.
So my brother makes her, not Steve, my brother George. He loves that's his favorite drink. He's tried to perfect pineapple mojitos like forever, and it's a hit and yeah. So,
speaking of challenge accepted.
Yeah.
All right. So what's next?
Hollywood.
Hollywood is in the news. Hollywood is in the news because of an update that apparently is bricking Mac Pros across the industry. Avid Media, or Avid Movie Editor.
Yeah.
Apparently, well, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Didn't
they do an update of some kind? Or is it just the program itself?
It's kind of the program itself. So there was a confluence of updates with Mac OS. I forget what the latest version is. Someone correct me in comments. The latest Mac OS going live, plus Avid released a new update, plus Google Chrome released a new update. And apparently the combination of the three is breaking the file system on Macs.
Yeah. Like, don't even turn them off.
Right.
Don't touch them.
Right. Like if you get all three updates and you reboot, you will brick your Mac.
Yeah.
Leave
them running.
Yeah. So when this story first came out, Chrome was not involved at all. It was basically Avid, or Avid, or however you pronounce it. Which was an update was pushed to them, and the majority of the affected systems were Mac Pros, specifically the trash can Mac Pros. And it was basically causing the machine to just go into a reboot loop, where it would try to read the hard drive, and then it would fail, and then it would kernel panic and reboot. It's a very, very weird issue.
Well, they even released a statement, too, stating that they were to blame.
Right. Yeah, so Avid says we're completely to blame, but hold on, a third player enters the race. Apparently, this has to do with a Google Chrome update, which Google Chrome took responsibility for today as well. So, basically, it's this weird, like I said, confluence of Avid's hooks into the file system, plus their DRM, plus something that Google dug into the kernel of the system. They're not meshing at all.
Yeah, didn't it take like some part of Apple security and basically kind of threw it out the window?
It threw it out the window, and so basically the way I understand it is Apple security is no longer able to decrypt your Mac drive.
Yeah.
And so it tries to read from it. It gets garbled information, which it thinks is already being decrypted. And it throws up on itself. Which, by the way, can I say, independent, this is one of the worst websites I've ever encountered in my natural life. And I run ad blocker, and oh my god, this is bad.
I know.
Seriously, just scroll up to the top.
Well, I got rid of it.
Right. So you got rid of it. So,
I got rid of it for you.
Right. So you click on the link, and there's...
There we go, I got it back.
And there's a video that auto-plays with what sounds like Rip Off My Heart Will Go On from Titanic. Like a MIDI version of it. But some no-name composer did a weird arrangement on it.
It's probably like the intern there.
It's got a pan, flute, and an organ. It's just bad. You start scrolling down, and actually if the video was playing, the video would actually follow the scroll and would actually take off the right side of the article.
So watch. I think it do it. It did it earlier when I was scrolling.
It's doing it on mine, and so it's following on the right side of the page. But anyway, the music is terrible. It auto-plays at the top. When you click on the link, I've got a 1440p monitor. I get one sentence at the bottom of my screen.
Yeah.
I keep scrolling down. The center of the article is a completely unrelated link to a slideshow. Gadget and tech news in pictures. And it's the French flying drone and Project Scarlet from Xbox, which, by the way, Project Scarlet was the Xbox One X. So that's how far out of date your slideshow is. We've also got, what is that, the iPhone 8, I believe, in the picture down there, and then some kind of giant Japanese mech.
With a gun.
Right. And then you scroll down a little further, and the article is basically based off a Facebook post, is what I found. There's no substance to this article at all. But anyway, I had to call them out because I almost tweeted at them because I was so irritated with this article. Anyway, as it turns out, there was a Chrome update that completely botched the whole thing. Basically, the Chrome update damaged the OS or the Mac OS file system and collusion with the
Avid software,
the Avid DRM, your Mac no booty no more.
Yeah. No, Google even sent a message out, please do not restart your computer. You will be screwed. Mm-hmm. We're taking that update out. I think actually Google took more to blame than the software.
I think it was 50-50 because now they interfered with each other, and in their internal testing, there's probably no way to know that.
Yeah.
Now, I would actually put this more on Avid because Google Chrome is a very common installed item. You should probably have Google Chrome installed on your Mac when you're doing your standard testing or you're doing your quality control, your QC runs.
Well, possibly it could have, but then at the same time, it might not have the update because Google was stating that their latest update, they forgot a particular line of code in there. That's what screwed it.
Right.
So even if Avid or Avid, whatever, we're gonna just go back and forth on that. Had Google Chrome, it probably still would have worked fine till this latest update. And then so Google is stating or tweeted out or sent a message.
Yeah.
Add this line of code, and here you go. Because every editor is gonna know how to do that.
Yeah. So this is what they recommend doing: is chroot and rm-rf delete your Google library, which you're telling end users to run an rm-rf. Are you nuts? Are you just absolutely mental at that point? And I know you're just trying to remove a directory, but you can't script this. You can't offer a download. You can't. No, just type this in. You'll be fine.
Yeah. No one is. Everyone's gonna always copy and paste. It's fine.
Right.
Everyone's just no one sits there like, oh, I got it on my phone. Here, hang on, let me type that in.
I totally do that. But I also, you know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah,
read twice, type once.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay, hang on. I know that character's not supposed to go there. I know there's supposed to be a space here.
Oh, is there a pipe there? Hold on.
Yeah. Is that a pipe or a slash?
Right. Oh, God, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I hit enter, and I just kept hitting enter. Where am I at?
Oh, God, escape.
Control, Alt, Delete.
Yeah. Joe, LOL, what could go wrong? Yeah. Your Mac no booty no more. But booty is basically all I do. And I totally picture Bender saying that in my mind's eye. So, yeah, if you have Avid Editor plus Google Chrome plus all of them have updated and you've never rebooted your Mac once in its lifetime, you're probably going to brick your machine unless you type in rm-rf as a sudo.
Yeah.
Good luck!
So, Jeff,
yes.
How would you like to have 8 terabytes?
Well, I have 24 in my file server. Right?
Yeah, I get that. But how would you like to have 8 terabytes just on one PCI slot?
Ooh, you have me intrigued.
Right. How would you like to have 8 terabytes on a PCIe Express 4.0?
Ooh.
So
5,000 megabytes a second.
No.
Oh.
How would you like to have 3 times that?
Ooh. What if I told you it was striped across 4 drives?
Well,
sorry, the sysadmin has to take over. So, Gigabyte has announced an 8 terabyte PCI Express 4.0 X16 SSD that claims 15,000 megabyte per second reads and 16,000 megabyte per second writes on a single one slot card. The caveat to this, the big caveat, is this is a RAID 0 across 4 2 terabyte M.2 drives.
Yes. Is it gonna work?
Oh.
Is it gonna break?
It's fast. Oh my God, it's fast.
Oh gosh, I mean that's tantalizingly fast.
Right. This is not meant for you. This is not meant for you. This isn't even meant for me. This is meant for people who are reading simultaneous 8K streams. This is meant for like the Linus Media Groups who are editing 8K raw footage on Adobe Premiere. This is what this is meant for. The people that are reading 1 gigabyte per second.
So this is the people that are having an Apple computer with Avid and Google Chrome on it?
That's exactly what it is. Well, they don't have PCIe 4.
Because they can't work with it. Too bad.
Maybe if they spent $12,000 on a new Mac Pro, they could have PC. No, sorry, they're still Intel based.
Yep. That's the other issue here.
Yeah. But I digress. Gigabyte announces an 8 terabyte drive, which is basically 4 2 terabyte NVMe PCIe 4.0 disks in a RAID 0. It's tantalizingly fast, sure, but take your RAID 0 and cut your chances in half, and then cut your chances in half again.
Yeah.
Now drives are getting very, very stable these days. I'm not here to tell you they're not. SSDs, especially in their error correction and their zeroing out of damaged cells and being able to account for, oh, sorry, this cell was damaged, let me move that data over here and we'll blank out that cell data from being used again, is actually really impressive. However, if a drive fails and you have 4 times the likelihood of it from a standard M.2,
you're screwed.
You're screwed. Yeah, you lose all your data. Insanely fast drive.
That's the beauty of it.
Like as a cache disk for a video editor, being able to scrub your footage at that kind of speed, as long as your encoder and decoder can actually keep up with that speed. It's insane. So Gigabyte in their labs touted read speeds of 15,376 megabytes per second and writes of 16,184 megabytes per second. Basically the SSD controllers were powered by Psion's PS5016-E16 controller, with probably more improvements to come. So if you have this kind of a data bandwidth need, this is going to be available later this year.
Yeah, no price point available yet, but I'm betting it's going to be...
It's high.
It's going to be really high.
It's high.
And there's going to be bugs. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some big bugs, but, this is first-gen adopters, basically.
Right. So... I wouldn't even say there'd be bugs. I mean, it's...
I guess, and when I mean bugs, I don't mean bugs. I mean just precautions, like you're saying. The drives nowadays are really good, really stable, but there's still that question. And this is really the first gen of these ultra super drives.
Now, the one thing I'm curious on is I'm assuming that Gigabyte is including their own RAID controller on this card. I would not rely on chipset RAID controllers or NVMe RAID controllers built into Threadripper or AM5 or AM4 chipsets, simply because I want better quality control and I want better compatibility with this setup. NVMe RAID is not for the faint of heart. I've tried it once with a couple of Gen 3 cards on my Threadripper. I had some kind of mixed results. It kind of worked, it kind of didn't. I thought about posting a video, but I really didn't have enough relevant information. I know on Intel side of things, it's certainly sketchy at best, as far as what your compatibility is, and then there's also licensing that goes on top on your X.299 platform. You have to pay, I think, $50 to unlock NVMe RAID, and then you only get certain versions of RAID. So what I would hope on Gigabyte's end is that the RAID is on board on this card. You can configure it through software or through a pre-boot controller, like you would do your normal RAID.
Yeah.
You tell it, do I want RAID 6, RAID 10, RAID 1, RAID, whatever.
Well, yeah. It's got to probably be in there if it is only RAID 0.
Right. Well, they're saying RAID 0 based on those speeds.
So you might be able to configure it.
So 15 gigs per second based on a RAID 0 8 terabyte configuration. But what if I went with a 4 terabyte RAID 10?
Yeah.
Or a RAID 6 or whatever, whatever Gigabyte gives me. What are the reads and writes then? And that certainly has better implementations.
Yeah, that's what.
You screwed me up.
Sorry.
Implementations at the daily driver level than simply like a cache level. A RAID 0 4 drive configuration, that's a cache disk. I would never implement that as anything else. When you get to a RAID 5, we can talk. RAID 6, I'm on board. For like a daily driver with 4 discs.
But still, how much fun would that be? This is like, I want to edit one of my videos on that. Yeah, right? That's just scrolling. Right. You could use a touch swipe screen and you'll be fine.
So I've been looking at some 40 gig switches lately, and I would love to do some network bandwidth speeds with 15 gigs per second.
Click, there it is.
Right. So by the way, 40 gig can only do 4 gigabytes per second on a card, but I would still love this as a cache disk in my FreeNAS box. Oh man, would I? So yeah, does LSI make good RAID controllers? Absolutely they do. They're one of the industry standards. LSI makes some fantastic controllers. Most of HP's and most of Dell's are LSI based. All the ones that they bake into their boards, they're all LSI controllers. But speaking of NVMe and RAID and controllers, we have a little bit more news based on that. So Intel announced earlier this week that they have a new Ethernet 800 series card that will support NVMe over IP, which means you will get native NVMe PCIe read-write speeds over an IP connection. So think of your old fiber channel or external SAS connections. It just got basically direct attach connection speeds over PCIe 4 links. Interesting that Intel can make a PCIe 4.0 card but can't build it into their chipsets. Oh, sad face.
Upside down smiley.
Right. Upside down smiley. Over a Maryberry.
Yeah.
Marionberry? Yeah. But there's not a lot of news on this. There's a lot of gobbledygook. There's a lot of
it was basically just the announcement.
It was basically the announcement that, hey, we're bringing NVMe to PCIe 4.0 on a card that you can plug in with a QSFP port.
That was basically
end of announcement.
Yeah. that was it. Wasn't anything.
Yeah. Now this is a 100 gigabit Ethernet chip, and they will be delivering essentially 100 gigabit speeds over NVMe, which is 10 gigabytes per second. So it won't support all the way up to full PCIe 4.0 bandwidth, which is approaching that 16 gigabyte per second limit. But 10 gigabit or 100 gigabit, is certainly nothing to scoff at.
No, it's so fast.
It certainly will support a couple of drives in a RAID 0. You know, your standard PCIe 4.0 4-lane drives, your X4 drives, at full native speed. So pretty impressive and pretty interesting that they're basically using the NVMe APIs to build their storage out of, instead of using fiber channel or traditional IP methods. Yep. Pretty cool stuff. Don't have much more to say.
No, that's about it. Article basically said it. So how are you enjoying your?
I'm still enjoying. Did you want to finish that one off, and I'll finish that one off?
All right, mine's a little watered down.
Yeah. Well, it's a mule. You're supposed to drink it quick.
Yeah. So. Yeah, yours tastes a bit more like a wine spritzer now.
Yeah.
See, what I liked about the mule is it stays cold because of the ice, but it does get watered down. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it more when it was up here.
I'm getting a lot of lime.
I double squeeze the lime.
Yeah, you double squeeze the lime.
I like lime.
I do like lime. I really like lime.
Yeah.
Really like lime. Is it NVMe over Fabric? They didn't really say. I would assume that's how they're implementing it. But I don't know. Because basically they gave a lot of numbers and names of their controllers. RDMA-compatible NICs and other niche network hardware, NVMe over TCP. Spec was finalized in November 2018 and opened doors for much wider for the use of NVMe over Fabric. So yes, it is NVMe over Fabric. There you go.
Oh.
It's written right in the article. So yes, they are using NVMe over Fabric.
Most of the article is pretty fluffy, though.
Yeah. It's one paragraph of information written across 6. So.
Yeah.
Does Kraft have a 2080 Ti? I have been away from his channel for a while, sadly. I have a 2080. I don't have a 2080 Ti. So,
if you would like to send us one, we would love to have one.
Of course.
Del gosh, I'm hammered.
Okay.
Some game news.
Game news. So what was... I don't think you played this one, did you?
I did not. I was never really a fan of the original either.
Of the series?
Of the series in general.
Well, the original certainly, but the second one?
Neither of them. Just never really... Well, for one, I never owned the system.
Okay.
And then never...
Well, that makes sense.
And then never got into like, oh, I'm going to get it when it comes out elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So the long-awaited mystery of when is Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to PC? And when is Red Dead Redemption coming to PC? Because it was supposed to and then it wasn't. So there's actually some new information.
That might
more than some weird photoshopped or video edited in menus and whatnot. This has actually been submitted to the official Australia ratings board for approval. Now, for those who aren't familiar, the Australian ratings board is very similar to the ESRB. They rate games for appropriateness in...
Sell usability to people.
Sell.
Yeah, it's a rating system.
It's an age rating on the system.
Yeah.
If you release on multiple platforms, you only have to submit it once. Unless you let a certain time period lapse, you have to submit it again because they need to go through and review it again. Red Dead Redemption 2 was just resubmitted as a PC title to the Australian ratings board.
Well, they don't know that because they was sent over there as a rating, and the rating changed. And they said the only reason why the rating would change is because of a potential new system.
Right.
And the only other system that would be needing this would be the Switch, which hardware can't handle this.
It's not going to handle RDR2.
Or the PC.
Right.
So, and it did get a new rating.
Yeah, it got an MA15 plus, so it's a mature game, but not their most mature game because I believe Australians is an 18 plus for their most mature. So it got an MA15 plus, but it was resubmitted for further evaluation.
Yeah, and everyone's saying that the reason why it was done that way is because it's probably coming out for the PC, and they believe it's for. Who makes it? Rockstar? Rockstar's new launching platform.
Yeah.
Game platform.
Yep.
And
surprise, another launcher.
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh. And then this is supposed to be their flagship.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what they're going to lead their new launcher with.
Yeah.
Which I'm fully in support of. There aren't many games that I pay full price for. There's even fewer that I would buy on multiple platforms. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of them.
Really? Because, okay, the original one, again, didn't have an Xbox, so couldn't play it. But most people were saying the best part about it was just, I'm going to go to the bar and play poker.
No, that wasn't the best part. In fact, I didn't even play poker all that much. I just enjoyed the universe. I enjoyed the world. I enjoyed walking through the world. Even more than GTA 5. It's a different kind of game where in between your towns it's really sparse. I enjoyed the hunting. I enjoyed the random encounters that you would get. The being robbed, stagecoach overturned and you're being robbed all of a sudden because you stopped to help a damsel in distress. I really enjoyed that aspect of this game, and Red Dead Redemption 2 even more. So very much looking forward to this on PC. I bought it on the Xbox One. Not only did I buy it on the Xbox One to play it, I bought an Xbox One to play this game. And there's not a lot of games that will, number one, sell me at full price. Number two, make me buy a system for.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason I bought it was because a really good friend of mine was... I built a computer for him, a PC for him, and he was going to go sell his Xbox One. I didn't know that at the time. I just put his computer together for him and whatnot. And then I'm loading up his car, and I said, "Oh, what do you got planned for the rest of the day?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm just heading on to GameStop. I'm gonna trade in my Xbox One, see what they'll give me for it, and maybe get a." I said, "What do you think they'll give me for it?" He goes, "Oh, it said online they'd give me like $60 for it." I said, "Here you go."
Oh yeah,
I gave him cash.
Well, look, I say like a $60.
It's $60. So
yeah,
I got an
okay,
Xbox One.
yeah. So then, go ahead, buy it.
Right. But it was right before the launch of Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm like, I got $60, and I got $60 again to buy the game, so there we go. So I'll spend $120 to play that game, and that's literally the only thing I ever did on there. I bought it 3 weeks before the launch of RDR2. In that amount of time, I played through the original Red Dead Redemption on the Xbox One, just to refresh my memory of where the story was, or where the story went after RDR2. Yeah. Someone was saying MSI's expander X16, but Gen 3. Yeah, I actually have one of those MSI expander cards. This was over in the Discord side of things. MSI made a what they call their M.2 expander Aereo, which basically looks like a GTX 1050 single fan card, but it has 4 M.2 slots under it. I have one of those cards. It came with my my MEG Creative X.299 board. That's actually running this stream right now. So that one, I believe, did rely on the chipset to handle the RAID, though. It didn't have an onboard RAID card itself. I believe. Basically, it let you run 4 additional M.2 drives on a board for a total of 7 on the motherboard, which was pretty insane. And they were all air cooled. It was a 2-slot card. It was pretty crazy.
But if you wanted to see that, join Jeff's Discord on this channel. There's a lot of really cool channels. We have tech channels, the Talking Heads before and after, standard, the craft computing, beer, food, and pop culture, meme wars, trading, computer, cars, everything. Buy, sell, trade, everything you want. Check out Jeff's Discord. It's at least $1. If you want more, that'd be fantastic. Great community. We're almost at like 200 people. Yeah. There's always one of the...
No, I think we're at 135, 140.
I thought it was like 170 last I checked.
Was it? I didn't think it was that high.
No, it was like 130 total.
I think that was the dollar amount.
No, I think it was like 130 offline and like 30 people online.
132.
Okay.
Is where we're at.
Okay. So, but yeah, usually one of the 4 hosts are almost 99% always on. Guaranteed always on. If not, wait at least 30 minutes for us to wake up from the illness we have.
Because I'm down with the sickness.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So, yeah, check that out.
Yep.
And the community in there is actually fantastic. It's one of the best Discord communities you'll probably even ever find. I know probably every channel says that, but this is really good channel.
I'm really not trying to bump my own chest here, you know. Yeah. I'm not. This is the best Discord community I've ever been around. It's the most active Discord community I've ever been around. It's the most helpful. It's the most engaged and talkative. And
yeah, it's not just like I sit there one post and I'm going to sit back and see how many like clicks I get.
Right. Yeah, no, it's nothing like that.
It's not. It's very engaging.
I am on the Discord every day.
Yeah.
Period. I'm on the Discord. I spend hours on the Discord every day. So if you ever wanted to talk to me, if you want to talk to John, if you want to talk computers, you want to talk homebrewing, you want to talk buy, sell, trade, you want to talk cars, you want to get into engineering or soldering or 3D printing or maker stuff, we have communities for that. So links down in the video description. Join the Patreon. Get on board. And as I said in the last video, projects like my cloud gaming system are only possible because of the Patreon. So you're helping out the channel. Money goes directly back into projects and keeping this channel on and keeping the lights on. And I would really appreciate it.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Where's the link for the Discord? It is in the video description. It's like the 3rd or 4th line.
It's right below mine. So
yeah.
Join my channel first, and then the Discord.
Subscribe to Hops and Brews, and then join the Patreon.
Yeah. As soon as you join the Patreon, you get links to all of my videos, like, instantly.
Yeah. He uses my Discord as a notification system. Because he can reach more people.
That's... Ow. Because the Discord has more subscribers on that than my channel. No.
You see the backhanded compliment there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, anyway, join the Patreon.
Yeah.
We do have one more story to get to.
Very interesting, not really gaming, but...
I find it really, really funny that the Consumer Product and Safety Commission was as dissatisfied with Fallout 76 as the rest of us.
Yeah, that is funny.
So the CSPC, for those who don't know, they handle they're the basically volunteer product recall place. They're the Product and Safety Administration. They send out notifications for anything that might possibly have a recall. Well, an interesting one popped up, and that is the Power Armor wearable helmet that came out with the Fallout 76 Collector's Edition. The reason being is the fabric on the inside apparently contained mold spores. So if you wear the helmet,
don't breathe.
You could die.
Yeah.
It's totally not funny and totally hilarious all at the same time.
Oh, it is. Well, didn't they say like half the people didn't even receive these helmets too? It was so far back order.
Yes. So there were about 20,000 units shipped. They don't even know the right number. Mold can be present on the fabric insert inside the helmet, posing a risk of respiratory or other infections in individuals with compromised immune systems, damaged lungs, or allergies to mold. The remedy is a refund. They're not going to be replacing the helmet. And it was issued a recall on September 19th. It is known as the T51B and Power Armor helmet, as it appears on the product packaging. They were sold online at GameStop in June 2019 for about $150. So, if you bought a Fallout 76 helmet, you're entitled to a $150 refund.
Yeah.
Finally, you get something back out of the game.
Well, that's it for the news.
Yep.
You want to do... We got a bit of time.
We got like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to talk about? John, did you want one more beer?
I can go for something pretty, nothing super heavy.
I've got an 8.5. I've got a fresh hop. Let me see which one's lower.
Yeah.
I have a Crux fresh hop, and I have a Fremont double.
You know, I haven't had the Crux fresh hop. I was about to buy it.
Let me go grab that.
So that should be right around the 6%.
Yeah. So queue up your questions. I will be right back.
Yeah. Now that I have you here by myself, save us. We have been held trapped here for a long time. I'm not trying to be funny here. Jeff threatens us all the time. He swears he's gonna hack into our systems and everything like that. Save us. And tell him to make this the thumbnail. Didn't say anything.
Why do I suddenly have a $10 donation? Were you showing more skin than you should have?
That would have been even a funnier montage. Next time. I could have made some.
Am I close? Alright, so Crux. Pert Near Fresh Hop IPA, 6.9%.
That's fine.
Centennial hops only.
Ooh,
yeah.
so single hop,
yep.
fresh hop. gonna get that CapriSun.
You know, actually, now that I taste this, I could taste a lot more of this in that Bellini than I could in, in the Mule.
No,
I actually got some elements of this in that Bellini.
I think it was the... before I squeezed that double lime in it,
yeah,
I think the Mule had a lot of this in it, and then also before the water took over.
Right. And like I said, I tried to stay very true to it, where it was the largest ingredient in both of those drinks.
Oh, yeah.
And they were both delicious.
Well, it was the largest single dose.
Largest single dose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, no, the champagne outnumbered it in the cocktail.
Okay.
It had more than 2 ounces in the cocktail, I guarantee. It was probably closer to 4. But 2 ounces of that, 1 ounce brandy, 1 ounce white wine. Ooh, boy, look at that head grow.
Hey, I can see through this beer.
Weird. All right, let's get to some questions. Jeff, have you done or will be doing anything with PFSense related content? I've gone back and forth about whether or not I want to do anything with PFSense. I've ran PFSense before personally. I've also ran it at a number of different instances professionally. I'm not necessarily a PFSense expert, and as such, I don't know that I want to proclaim to be. It's kind of this weird thing when I start getting into enterprise stuff. If I'm dicking around with like Tesla and grid cards, I don't have to proclaim to be an expert. If I get on and all of a sudden I'm trying to be a point of authority for firewalling, that's a little bit different area. I am an expert in virtualization. I am an expert in server instances, or at least the level that I'm trying to portray on YouTube. And so I can stand by that, and I can answer questions, and I can help you work through problems, and I know the material is 100% accurate. As far as a networking standpoint, I work very much internally on LANs. I do VLAN distribution. I do some wide area networks, but they're more corporatized wide area networks. I'm not all that well versed in firewalls, and I rely on other people to handle that for me. So I don't know that I'm going to get too much into PFSense. If you want a great authority on PFSense, Tom Lawrence Systems over on YouTube. He makes some great PFSense tutorials. I would much rather defer to someone else who is an expert in a certain area than try to do the content myself for the sake of views and then either answering a question incorrectly or leading you down a wrong path. So, go check out Lawrence Systems over on YouTube. Great content. Does a lot of really great server stuff. And they discuss a lot of stuff that I'm interested in as far as pen testing, security, exploit exploration. They do a lot of really great stuff.
How come we don't have the cool screen like you did with Rhett? There we go.
There you go.
Now I feel awesome.
Couldn't remember which hotkey it was. So, let's see. So yeah, that's why I haven't done PFSense, and I probably won't do PFSense. Is in internal connections, I'm a wizard at. When you start dealing with LAN or dealing with WAN connections, I'm not a security expert, and I don't profess to be one. So I'd rather stay away from it if I could.
Have you had this before?
I have not.
Oh, okay. It's not as fresh hop as I was. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So for those of you who do not know what fresh hop is, a fresh hop is when they pick it directly from the vine and they don't dry it. Actually, hops are dried to take the oils off of this, off of the leaves, the cones themselves. Fresh hop is actually taken directly off the vine and then just dumped in the beer. A lot of times it's almost within an hour or two, essentially to get those oils. So it should be extremely aromatic. Maybe not as bitter. Actually, a lot of times it's less bitter, but the aromatic should just overwhelm you with perfumes of whatever type of hop you're using. I don't really get that in this. So I actually get a kind of a weird creaminess.
Jeff, you're into networking, but have you checked out tools like Kismet or BetterCap for Wi-Fi recon? I've never really done that. Again, Wi-Fi is one of the things that I do rely on a number of other people to handle for me professionally. I've got a couple network guys that I employ, and they handle all of the networking stuff as far as spectrum space and making sure they're not interfering and rogue access points and everything else. I'm aware of those, but I'm certainly not a point of authority on those. So I've not tried delving into that on a personal level. I've done some basic spectrum analysis around my home. I've used Unify's tools to scan spectrum around my house, but as far as using specific tools for Wi-Fi recon, no, I have not. What would you do for some cheap cloud storage that can be used as a network drive or local without sync, or for hosting Plex content? FreeNAS. I have a whole tutorial up on FreeNAS, and in fact, I use FreeNAS for cloud storage. I use it for local network storage, and I use it for my Plex library. At the time that I set up that FreeNAS tutorial, I was running Plex inside of a package or inside of a plugin inside of FreeNAS. I've since broken that off to its own virtual machine running Ubuntu, which gives me a couple advantages. Number one, on the virtual machine, I can pass through a graphics card into NVENC, and so I can transcode my footage if I want to, and I can use FreeNAS as my storage for that from a separate server. And so I'm essentially mounting the FreeNAS drive inside of my Plex server every time it boots up, and then just rocking and rolling. So yeah, FreeNAS is a great all-around whatever you want to do NAS and even cloud-based storage solution. You can do a number of different cloud plugins like Nextcloud and a couple other things. So good stuff. This channel makes me thirsty. Makes me thirsty too. Let's see. Oops. What else we got? What are your thoughts on the Windows 10 1903 update? I wish they would get it right.
I don't like half the Windows updates because they end up screwing with so much of my stuff that might work. Because we still run some really old Microsoft Access and Office stuff back from '98, and it screws it every time. So I have to go to each individual computer, 300 in my office, and then I got to remote into all the other ones, and then not everyone updates at the same time, so I'm in the middle of a project, and then I get a phone call, hey, this doesn't work. I'm in the middle of an update. Can I just turn my computer off? No, you can't do that.
Yep. What I will say is last week, right before the show, 7:20, which is the only time I am ever using this laptop. It's on a good chunk of the time. It's on the side. I play YouTube videos occasionally on it when I'm doing some other work. But the only time I am actively using this laptop is from 7 to 11 p.m. on Wednesdays. Bar none. It decided the last 2 weeks in a row to run Windows updates. 2 weeks ago, it ran just some security updates, and I'm like, okay, fine. I rebooted it. It was fine. Last week at 7:20, it decided to reboot and install the 1903 update on its own. Unprompted, closed my web browsers, and rebooted the machine, and then took 20 minutes to get back up and running. That's how I feel about the 1903 update. I'm not prompted to, hey, do you want to install the latest feature update? Now, I understand most people would probably click no. I click yes more often than not, but not when I'm freaking using the laptop. Let me schedule it, and then when I schedule it, follow the damn schedule. So, I spent last Thursday installing Windows Enterprise Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC on here off a gray market key. Because now I can control the Windows updates, and they install when I want them to, and there's freaking nothing on this laptop. John, hit the start bar for me, would you? Just open the Windows.
Yeah.
Okay? This is what that looks like now. It's freaking wonderful.
There's nothing here.
There's nothing there that I don't want to be there.
What? No Xbox service?
Cortana doesn't even exist on this laptop. I didn't install Windows 10 and then got to be met with, "Hi, I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help."
That's the best part, though.
Right. So
that's like the little paperclip in Microsoft Access.
So I may be doing a video very shortly on Windows LTSC. I've used it before, but I was so irritated by 1903, and I've been so irritated by Windows updates recently, and the installing of gratuitous and excessive software, 8 gigs of downloads for Candy Crush and World of Tanks or whatever the hell they're trying to push out now. And it's like, I have a bandwidth cap. I don't want your crap. I don't want it, especially when I'm running like 7 machines at home. Are you going to install that 7 times on my network?
Yeah.
Go away. Yeah. So.
Oh, wait, here.
I think 1903 runs fine. I'm ticked off at Microsoft.
Here's a question that'll calm you back down. What SD card would you recommend for a DSLR? You need a high write.
I have always just been a fan of SanDisk, just in general.
Oh yeah.
I mean
they're cheap. They're super cheap and super fast. You want the ultra fast ones, you can get.
So there you go. There's
that's $15 now.
If that. Yeah. It's a UHS 1, so for photography's sake, UHS 1 is really all you need. Class 10 at the minimum, 80 megabytes per second. It's great. And in fact, copying off footage, I get about 95 megabytes per second read speed on this thing. So copying to my NAS is almost gigabit speeds.
Yeah.
So this is what I use for some of my 1080p cameras. I do have some faster cards. I went with an Amplum actually for my super fast card as of late. So there you go. That's the one that I use on my Fuji. I've got 3 of these.
Oh, look at that back.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, that's how you can tell it's faster. Compare the difference there. So, for your super fast cards where you're doing like high-speed video, but you're not quite to the CF fast level, this is a great card. It's a UHS 3, I believe. Yeah, UHS 3. This does 285 megabytes per second.
What was the price of that?
$50, $40.
That's still
45.
Not. That's still at 64 gigs. That's still not bad.
64 gigs for 285 megabytes per second.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're doing photography, that's going to last you a couple thousand photos.
Yeah.
And then video. I don't know.
Video, I get about 30.
What you're shooting at.
I get about 30 minutes, about 29, between 29 and 32 minutes
4K.
Of 4K at 200 megabit. So it's a pretty hefty encode.
Yeah.
I record all of my stuff to SD at 200 megabit. So, yeah. But I want my pre-installed Candy Crush. Good. Stay on Windows 10 Home. All right, what else we got? I'm not sure what to think of this beer.
Right? I know. It's... So right now, though, the fresh hop season actually is just about to boom. So these early ones aren't really super fresh hop. What they're considered is they make the beer and it's a late edition fresh hop.
Right.
To where in about October, we're really going to get the real fresh hop beers.
I'm gonna get blasted for this, but you know what I taste in here? Budweiser.
I don't get that.
I taste lager. I don't taste IPA. This is not an IPA.
Well, like I was saying in my description of a fresh hop, it's not. Fresh hops aren't usually more bitter. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to be more aromatic. Mm-hmm. And this really coats my mouth. But I didn't get aromatics with this either.
Yeah. There's nothing on the nose of this.
There's nothing on the nose.
It smells like air.
It feels weird. It almost feels like mint or toothpaste, and then you breathe in it, kind of cools the...
Little spearmint.
Spearmint, yeah. Spearmint. That's a great...
Yeah.
That's kind of what it tastes like.
Yeah. It tastes like toothpaste. I think you're dead on.
It's like, yeah, the middle and end is like... I get... Now that you said Budweiser, okay, I can see domestic.
It tastes like a lager.
Yeah.
It tastes like a cheap lager.
Yeah,
it tastes a little ricey. It tastes a little...
I can... This kind of reminds me of the Budweiser
copper.
It does.
It totally does. And it's about the same ABV. It's 6.8.
Yeah.
Yeah. This tastes like the Copper Reserve Budweiser.
Blind taste test, Jeff. Can you tell the difference?
Still probably yes.
Oh.
But that's certainly what this reminds me of.
I know. Toothpaste
Yeah.
and Budweiser. Now there's a video. Can I make can I make a domestic taste like this fresh beer? All right, I got some toothpaste. I got some Budweiser. Let's mix it together. Yeah. Jeff, I got a cocktail for that.
Don't shake carbonation. I warn you now. Don't do that.
Yeah, I did that in my last video.
It doesn't taste minty. But my mouth, when I'm done drinking this, reminds me of spearmint.
Yeah, you know how it's not minty, but you know when you have spearmint?
It's cold. You breathe in, it's just...
There's that cold, refreshing... What are those mint chew gums? Orbits or... You know, it's that. It's like, as soon as you drink it, whatever oil...
For that crisp, clean feeling, no matter what.
Yeah, that's kind of what it tastes like. It's cooler in my mouth.
Yeah. Yep. Any more questions? We got like 10, 12, 15 minutes left. Somewhere like that.
Oh,
New Holland's Night Tripper Imperial Stout is a must try.
Most New Holland stuff I usually enjoy.
Yes.
I saw a channel that I was following. I haven't watched the video yet, but the description, or it might be tagged. But they take a dragon's milk and they try to pumpkinize it.
Dragon's milk could do with a little pumpkin spice.
It could. I think...
I don't say that about many things. Let me be clear.
No, I will say probably your favorite and my personal favorite of pumpkin beer, actually, your only pumpkin beer is probably going to be the Gourdfather.
Yes.
That is Elysian's Imperial barley wine. I shouldn't say Imperial. It's just a barley wine. It's like 11.2, 11.5.
Actually, though, you posted one earlier today that was the Elysian Puncccino.
Yeah.
That one I can see myself enjoying. Little spice latte kind of thing.
It's basically just a cinnamon pumpkin coffee.
Right.
Yeah. But the Gourdfather is fantastic. But I think the bourbon, some chocolate, and a little bit of pumpkin spice, that can go pretty well. So I'm interested to see his video. I'll probably watch it later tonight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hell no on the pumpkin spice. Most of the time I say that. Most of the time I do. I'm not a fan of pumpkin. I don't like straight up pumpkin. I enjoy a good piece of pumpkin pie, but with a decent amount of whipped cream on it. But honestly, it does have its place. I actually had a pumpkin spice donut the other day that was delectable.
Oh, I actually had a pumpkin donut the other day, and I was like, I taste more just like a little bit of spice, but that's about it.
Yeah, it was like cinnamon and chime.
Yeah, that's kind of what it more tasted like. I was like, this is actually pretty delicious.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
My wife was really pissed off because apparently she bought that for herself, and then they went, donuts are on the counter, and I went and grabbed a donut and I ate it. And I'm like, that was pretty solid. And she's like, did you eat my pumpkin donut? And I went, oh, that's what that was.
Was it the old-fashioned glazed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had. Yeah, they were like, oh. My wife bought like...
It was great.
Yeah, a couple of them, and she had like a half of one, and she bagged the rest, and I think I ate the rest of them over a couple of days.
But like, hey, yeah, there's donuts on the counter if you want one. And so there were like all these donuts, and there was like one off to the side that was just like a standard old-fashioned glaze. And I'm like, oh, I'll just take the old-fashioned. That looks good.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need like the frosting and the sprinkles and everything else.
Yeah.
I just want an old-fashioned glaze. Give me that.
And it just happened to be pumpkin batter.
Happened to be my wife's gluten-free pumpkin spice. So she storms into my office. Did you eat my donut? I don't think so. I ate a donut.
I don't know. You tell me they're donuts. I ate a donut.
I had a donut. It was really good. Thank you for offering.
Yeah.
How do I get my Gigabyte GPU RGB to play nice with my ROG RGB? Pray to whatever God you believe in. So a lot of components that you buy are going to be compatible with just about any RGB, ARGB system on the market. So if you buy a fan, you can plug it into RS Sync, ROG, Gigabyte, MSI Mystic Light, whatever, it doesn't matter. However, if you buy an MSI product and you try to sync it with a Gigabyte system or an Asus ROG, they're not going to mesh. So the no-name products work way better than the first-name products. So if you want to do an MSI-based system and you have an MSI graphics card and you want to control that with MSI software, get an MSI board. What's your opinion on home automation? If you are into it, how far would you take it? For instance, would you go as far as smart blinds that open or close for you? I'm likely going to be getting into some home automation stuff because I'm in the market for a house right now. I don't know that I would go that far. I would love to be able to say, computer, close the blinds in bedroom 3. I would love to say, computer, turn off all the exterior lights.
You just want to do that for Star Trek.
I do, but at the same time...
You're going to sit there and hook it up to your Bluetooth Star Trek badge. Computer!
I'm totally going to have it comm badge based. But no, automation...
Computer. You're gonna put it on a microphone on the bottom of your house just for that. Anyway, sorry.
Hello, computer. Computer. Yeah.
How quaint.
Keyboard. How quaint. Yeah. I love that he's hunting, pecking, and then he gets faster, and then he's doing this number of hunt and peck. Like, okay, BS.
With 9 fingers.
Yes. So home automation. I like the idea of home automation, kind of. I very much like to be in direct control of a lot of my stuff outside of a basic schedule. So if I want to turn my Christmas lights on at 7 p.m. every night and have them run until 1 a.m., automation, awesome. What I don't want is a machine to learn what my tendencies are and then just do things automatically.
Yeah.
Outside of maybe like a Nest doing my HVAC system, because then it's doing it based off formulas, based off energy load to heat your house versus how quickly does your house cool off versus what's the outside temperature versus how long does it take to warm it up. And so things like that I can kind of understand. I can wrap my head around, you know better than I do, and you know what my tendencies are, and you know what I like and you know what I don't like. And I can set you into efficiency mode or I can set you into performance mode. Totally cool. As far as like lighting and blinds and garage doors and locks and everything else, I want to do that. I want to be in control of that. I want to say, computer, lock the doors and all the doors in my house block. I want to say, computer, turn off my exterior lights and every single light outside my house goes off or every single light outside my house turns on.
Yeah.
And so that I would like to be very much manual. And I'd love to have an interface on the wall or a screen or a fridge that I could see the current status of everything all at once.
See, I don't know. The problem is I find with the automation...
Or a tablet application.
Yeah, see, I guess with the fridge, it's more my problem with the fridge and the kitchen compliances. Mm-hmm. I get the lights. I get like saying, hey, I want
the screen on the fridge. I don't want a smart fridge.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying.
And even then, I don't want it to be like, oh, add this item to my shopping list. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Even then, that gets a little messy, and you're missing milk now. It's like, you're measuring how much milk I drink? You know.
I shudder that thought.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you're out of beer. Oh, God,
there's no possible way.
Yeah, well, but it's like, don't tell my wife. Shut up, dude.
Yeah.
You've drinking 6 more gallons of beer this month. Shut up, fridge.
Your consumption of triple hopped IPAs.
I know, and then it's going to start going on Amazon and pre-ordering stuff for me.
You're going to get pumpkin beers in January because you stopped using them.
Oh, I know. Or it's going to add to my wife's shopping list. It's like, you need to buy your husband this. Like, no, shut up.
Yeah.
That was in the back of the shelf for a reason.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of the automated or just the simple on-off features, or a timer. That stuff I like. It when it starts becoming learning. Maybe the HVAC, the heating. I kind of like that idea.
But there's more algorithms that are involved in that than I can understand.
Yes.
It's how quickly does my house cool off? How much energy does it take to warm my house back up or cool my house off, depending on the season? Is it the right temperature when I wake up and go to sleep? Is it this? Is it that? And so that I understand from an AI perspective. What I don't understand is, hey, you get home at 5 o'clock every day, so we're going to turn on your stove light.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
We're going to have your favorite radio station because your phone is synced up to our house and you're about to pull in. I don't want that.
LOL, I don't want my fridge to know I'm an alcoholic. And I think that's a consensus. So,
and at the same time, it's not just your fridge. Who else is watching your fridge?
Yeah.
I don't like half of the stuff of those.
And the bigger
home use stuff.
And the bigger answer there is I don't like cloud services for that.
Yes.
I want localized, internal, LAN-only services that
and
control.
are you going to build the screen into your fridge and all those thermometers? You're going to get a third party to do it. And then the third party is going to use their cloud-based service.
Right. So I don't want to send that data elsewhere. I don't want to tell a third-party service when I'm home and when I'm not, and when my garage door is open, and hey, my front door is unlocked.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. So that's my big problem. But as far as hey, computer, turn my lights off, yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I think that's about good for the day.
Yeah, we could probably call it good.
So, thank you for joining us for episode 99 of Talking Heads. Join us next week for episode 100. Steve will be on the show, and we'll probably do something special.
Well, if there's alcohol, I might just...
You might just show up.
I might just show up.
John might be here, too.
I might be here.
So.
Depends
Anyway.
what you have. I'll watch and be like, what are they going to drink? And that's not why I watch. I'm on the show, though.
Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news. Follow John on Twitter at Hops and Brews, or pretty much any service at Hops and Brews. And we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Later, guys.